Hello, all you wonderful beings out there, and welcome to the stream. I am Razim, and this is Lost in Chaos Scar, Squirrel's Adventures. This is one of our Pokemon Tabletop RPG campaigns. This is a side game from the main Lost in Chaos campaign. And it is was following Squirrel's adventures away from the main team. However, Squirrel is rejoining the main game, so what we're doing now are some what-if scenarios. This is the first one of that, titled Date Time.
Daytime.
No, not
Yay.
daytime. Date.
Raharu, save me.
I'm sorry, Ara.
Escape.
So we shall begin as always with introductions, beginning with our illustrious storyteller, Enja.
Hello and good day. I will be your storyteller for this evening, Enja Lumerias. I play the allies, I play the enemy, and I orchestrate all manner of events. However, for today, the Thursday game has reached its canonical ending, but we shall be doing a number of what-if sessions or things that we just didn't get to. But for now, I shall pass it over to IDDoThings.
Hello, y'all. I am IDDoThings, or Ido if you prefer, and I'll be playing Aquarelle, the water and dark type Isuan Samurant, and the serious and grouchy one of the party. Passing it now to Raharu.
Hello there, everybody. I'm Raharu, and I'll be playing Elvaroda, or Elva for short, the water ground type Quagsire, and the bookworm of the party. But also the absent-minded one. On to you, Gimund.
Hi, I'm Gimund, and I'm playing Pyroclast, the sometimes dark, sometimes ghost, fire Charmeleon. And I believe at this point he was ghost fire.
Hello everybody, I am Razim, and I am playing as Squirrel, the dragon-fighting type Riolu, and embodiment of ADHD, and the one that has dragged all of these individuals down with him on these wonderful adventures.
Indeed.
And hello, I am Drunk Dragon Era, and I am from my own Twitch channel, Drunk_Dragon_Era, and I will be playing Verdant, the fire psychic type Charizard. And apparently doing awkward things on stream publicly. Yay.
Yay.
Hooray!
It will be Daijobu.
So normally we would do a recap from the last session, but I think I'm going to turn this over to you, Enja, for setting the scene and such, and giving a brief idea of where exactly this falls into with the timeline. One more thing to note, we do have one of our artists here tonight. It is Conrad, and he's working on the Squirrel model. But go ahead, Enja.
Alright, so, as stated earlier, this is going to be a session that is somewhat out of order, as the Thursday game has reached a natural conclusion, but that doesn't mean the fun's over just yet. After all, it was stated that while I believe it was another day of Squirrel working on his weapons, a casual remark had been made, to which he agreed it's a date. And so, their current host is indeed taking Verdant, the Charizard, around the town.
If anybody needs me, I will be under my desk.
We need you right now because you're the, the main character for this little side thing.
Yay.
I mean, Verdant is indeed the one who said it. However, should he sufficiently convince someone to tag out, it'd be a little awkward, maybe a little embarrassing, but I mean, why not?
Tag out of a date sounds weird.
I don't think that's how this works, because canonically he was on the date all day. It's just the player is going, "Oh gods, help me."
Yes.
So
Don't
is this
worry,
where I bring Asher in and have him throw date notes at Verdant?
No,
I
we
mean-
don't need the death god's advice right now.
No, don't worry. Bex can do that for you. He will throw all the completely wrong advice to you.
Oh dear.
IDDoThings tipped $10 off.
Ido, thank you so much for that tip. As is tradition, that is the first tier of the tip goal completed.
Oh, good. Remember, everybody, tradition. It's tradition time. Let's do the tradition thing and forget about this conversation entirely until possibly much later.
Oh dear. Well, I'm going to. Would you like to know what the donation goal is? Since I'm pretty sure it's going to be inevitable one way or another.
Sure.
Generous bestowal.
All right. I will inform you now.
You tipped $10,
that-
Razimlam.
Oh my. In a
Right,
in a
Jim?
sleepy little town.
Sorry, we got two of them that just came in back to back. Raijin, Raharu, thank you for those tips. That is the second and third tier of the tip goal completed already.
A generous bestowal.
Raharu95 tipped $10, Quag.
Gracious and goodness me. All right. So, the higher the goal goes, I will remind you, this is a sleepy little town where basically everyone knows each other on a first name basis.
Drunk underscore dragon underscore era tipped $10, tradition and distraction.
Thank you for that tip as well, Era.
If you were aiming for a distraction, I think you have done it incorrectly.
Generous
As
bestowal.
my word.
How many people want to see this damn date? What the hell?
You're lucky you already tipped, because that would be swear jar. And no, she can't get a word in edgewise. Red, thank you for that tip as well. That is the tip goal fully completed.
Okay then. That is thematically appropriate, I suppose. As I was saying, in a sleepy little town where everyone knows each other on a first name basis, and they have basically no outsiders unless it is a fairly special occasion, the date, once they start to figure out what that is going to be the talk of the town. That means everyone knows and everyone is interested.
Yep. I read the title, thank you.
As this is going to be the most interesting thing that's happened in a while.
Amazing. Also, sorry, did you for the freaking interruptions earlier?
It's okay. Just that, prepare yourselves.
Ooh.
So, Verdant,
Yes.
I assume you're letting her take the lead.
Yep. I don't know what's around here.
More than fair. You had a cursory tour earlier, but now this is going to be a little bit more in depth. As first and foremost, she's going to take you to a tavern adjacent establishment. Tavern adjacent, as they've had it for a while, but it's basically like the meeting spot for townspeople who are just there to chat with each other, or whoever just so happens to turn up. Basically, for people with nothing particularly better to do.
Ah, so tavern.
Yep.
It's a bar in a small town. Oh dear.
Yep, that does about sum it up. Though more often than not, like maybe one room is ever rented ever in a day.
So this is in Wisconsin. When did we end up in Wisconsin?
Shrug. I'm unsure of this location.
Bad joke.
Yes. Now I know you want to escape from the situation, but I will not allow it.
This wonderful button that looks like it'll disconnect the call. I wonder what it'll do.
Well, should you have to magically disconnect, you will be married by the time you come back.
This would be the second time in Verdant's life where he somehow ended up married to somebody and doesn't know how.
Canonically
a
accurate.
Charmander. Would he still be a Charmander at that point?
Boy, it's going to be interesting when you meet again.
Oh no.
Indeed.
No canonical marrying, please.
Fair enough.
Well then, don't disconnect.
I haven't disconnected yet. You're fine.
On the good
Oh.
news, Squirrel, you'll get a mother. Because you were adopted! I will
True.
remind.
All right, what do I roll to guess what kind of drink she actually likes? That way I can do the proper thing in order for her. Would an investigation suffice?
Sure. They will be surprised to be asked for the menu, but admittedly, she doesn't really seem to know much about dates either? Question mark.
Oh, so he said they were both of them don't know what the heck they're doing. It's an
Not
awkward off.
particularly. You can
Is it
imagine in a town like this, she hasn't been courted? Question mark.
It's an awkward off.
So apparently I can't roll in the box.
What?
Odd.
There we go.
Well, that was a wasted 10. I just wanted to try that out.
Two, I have no clue.
Oh dear. Well, ideally, it is the start of the date, so probably nothing alcoholic. Thankfully, they've got a number of berry juices.
Verdant looking at the menu, remembering, oh right, I'm not supposed to have alcohol yet, and putting it down slowly. She can choose.
All right. Well, she will order, as this is a special occasion. I'd like the Enigma berry juice, please.
Do they have? How do you pronounce that? OCCA berry? Oka berry?
Enigma. Or is that for you? Is that your
For myself.
Okay.
'Cause
Which
it's
berry is this? Mocha?
OCCA.
I think that's what it is.
Oh god.
Oka.
Okay. They do have this.
There we go. I know what Verdant's ordering.
Alrighty. They will bring out the orders, but they will certainly raise an eyebrow at Chia and ask, "Are you sure?" It's a special occasion.
Awkward Verdant smile.
This does get other looks from the other patrons, who then start to wonder and consider. Could it be? It might just.
Awkward smile getting bigger. Must hide fear in eyes.
Remember,
Imagining
they can smell fear.
Imagining
You can imagine this is going to spread very quickly throughout the town. You just have the feeling. as she will pick up the glass with her tail, take a sip, and freeze up for a moment. Oh, bitter.
Verdant's just gonna offer to trade right away if that's the face she makes.
No. Sometimes I order this drink for fun because I really can't tell. It changes between sips, you see.
Oh,
It's a mystery.
I mean, if it makes them happy, Verdant will just sip his drink because, oh boy, people are starting great. He reaches for his collar, tugs on a little bit.
Did he wear his armor to the date? I suppose it is his formal wear.
No, his green suit's at home with his missing bush in his house that is no longer his.
Damn.
And he'll literally write that out, be like, I had a green suit that looked really nice on me, I thought.
Oh, it's a shame. I would have liked to see it.
Can't go back there.
Well, at least I can try to imagine you in a suit. I must admit, it's a little silly though. So I'll really have to take your word for it.
Parentheses, it's just the blazer and a tie.
Oh. Okay, I suppose I can see that. I was trying to imagine you in, like, tuxedo pants.
Red X. I haven't used it in years. It probably doesn't fit. Apparently I've gotten fat. So how long has it been since you've dated? Yes, I cracked my voice intentionally, by the way.
Let's see. I think the last attempt was 19 years ago.
Attempt, question mark?
They seemed to have mistaken me for someone else. So that didn't last. That didn't go on for too long.
Verdant writes out, how? You fairly unique. Ooh.
They thought I was an Alola Ninetales.
Oh.
How exactly do you make the mistake?
You'd think the heat would be a dead tell, but
Well, I guess we are both pale coloration. But it was very embarrassing. They, to their credit, they tried to keep it going, but, they balked a little bit more. Because, well, they were also an ice type. And, I guess they didn't think we'd be very compatible.
Verdant draws a picture of a Pokemon digging its own hole, or its own grave.
Not wrong. Not wrong. They were a very nice Auros, though. While they were attempting.
Quote, attempting. End quote.
Yes. Their date showed up eventually. That is when well, let's say that upon discovering who they were supposed to meet with another Ninetales, they decided that they would not continue with their partner and left early. So
Oh, that must have been extremely awkward.
it was. It really was. Probably why nothing really ended up happening, despite I think he was just trying to make the most of the situation.
Doodles a house on fire.
Well, if nothing else, I did try to console them. I don't know if it helps, since I really was just coming to get a coffee.
Verdant writes out, surprise date sounds awkward.
Maybe I shouldn't have played along.
Verdant writes out, probably not. Then again, I don't even remember how I got married the first time, so.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't initially. I really tried. But, like, after the third minute, I just decided, alright, maybe this is his way of asking me out. And then it wasn't. But, don't worry. I intend to keep this very, very, lighthearted, let's say.
Lighthearted question mark.
Well, admittedly, being a local, I've sort of seen what there is to see and done what there is to do before settling down in my little profession. So I'm not sure what would be particularly special about this town or what would be impressive to show someone. So quite frankly, I was just thinking of a meal and talking a little bit about each other, and well, I suppose if nothing else comes to mind, that would be that.
Verdant writes out, choice A. Couple of drinks, meal, normal night. Option B, alcohol, and off being idiots somewhere.
Well, normally
Parentheses, don't encourage me.
I think I'd lean towards and then some voices from another table. Option B, option B. What? No. What do you mean? No. Stop that.
Writes out, are you people watching us?
Of course we are. This is big news. To which she's slowly turning back towards Verdant, as if this had not dawned on her that this would be the result.
Verdant's just staring at whoever shouted, yes, we are, like they saw him naked or something. That kind of just, really? You're gonna stand here and look at me still? Look.
She is starting to look a little embarrassed and starts to cover her face with two of her tails. I'm very sorry.
Lets out a puff of fire, shrugs, writes out, could be more awkward. At least I know I'm on a date this time.
Oh no. Did you not other times?
Ferdinand writes out, you ever wake up and realize that somebody's living with you and wondering when you got married?
I can't say that's happened to me.
Ferdinand writes out, I was married once. I still don't know when we went from being just really good friends to being married. Apparently we were in a relationship for 3 years and I had no idea.
Oh, did you think it was like a friends living together and splitting the rent sort of deal?
He changes to a page and goes, no, we just hung out a lot. And then one day she moved in and she said we were getting married and I was very confused.
Oh.
Makes sense of why she wanted me to buy the house so badly.
Oh.
Parentheses, not married anymore.
Oh, that's a shame. Did you enjoy their company?
Writes in parentheses, gold digger. So no.
Right, I suppose the divorce says enough. Let's see. Suppose then, do you have any questions about me then?
Where are you from? Wait, you're human Pokemon.
Yeah. So, not from here, but I did get my memories back. Let's see. How would I explain this? Back where I'm from, I had a profession that would technically require you to not really publicly speak about it. I was a witch.
Blinks, a witch?
We found the
Yeah.
witch! May we burn her?
I have flash fire, so I assure you that will be ineffective.
Like anyone in this town that's actually strong enough to do something about her.
Probably not. Though, in my defense, I also not the greatest liar, so I had a little failsafe. I was a hunter as sort of a backup identity, complete with a full set of memories. I could do both, but I just forget that I was a witch. Since I'm not very good at lying, I made it the truth. And then I got brought over here for some reason. Still not quite exactly sure why to this day, but it happened while I was technically being questioned, so I had my hunter memories on.
Ferdinand writes out complicated.
Oh yes, it was very complicated, especially once I figured out that those memories were actually incorrect. Very, very troublesome. But eventually I managed to get to the bottom of this and ended up reconciling with myself. That, oh, wait, no, both of them are correct, actually. And then I had an amount of organizing to do.
Verdant writes out, "This is one of the few times I'm glad I'm just an idiot."
There is a certain delight in being oblivious to most things. Sometimes I find myself envious, but on the other hand, I like who I am, so that's fine too.
Verdant writes out one of those long statements about how liking yourself is very important, but you can't like yourself too much, otherwise things are weird. It's like a paragraph. He's not panicking.
Well, I think then, for those cases, you just have to find someone who likes you more? And then it's fine, I would assume.
Something something dragon liking oneself too much problems. Something something.
Is that a problem?
Verdant,
Sorry, I'm not actually completely, knowledgeable. Is that a problem that you actually have?
Verdant wavers his hand and says, "Big ego."
Oh. Okay, yeah, I suppose I can see that from that angle.
Verdant tilts his head to see it at another angle. It's a bad attempt at a joke and joy.
You are quite silly.
Then Verdant will write out, "Why did you move here?" The player's gonna
Well,
walk away but be able to hear for a second.
the first time, I suppose, was just because I needed someplace quieter. Like, the guild doesn't even have a branch here, so it's probably one of the more isolated areas that you can get. Kind of having memory issues, so I didn't want new input, so to say. But I still didn't want to be completely isolated. So I ended up finding this place, and I just stayed here for about 6 months, just sort of processing. Maybe not the greatest thing to do, since I did just sort of up and vanish, according to everyone else. Though, that was also kind of when they'd managed to finish my void parasite, and I just sort of got everything, including why being a witch was bad and what they'd do to you, and then that I had deliberately constructed this other persona that I was kind of having problems with. I mean, how was I to know that I'd make my own nemesis? Question mark.
Loose shrug from Verdant, then writes
Man.
out, "A lot of us are our own worst enemy?" Question mark.
I mean, yes, but she'd get me into jobs that I didn't want to do and then tag out.
Oh, ... Annoying.
Very frustrating, yes. Since me the body had said yes, so I couldn't just not.
Verdant says, but she could not, so why could you not?
She's going to narrow her eyes slightly. I see what you're trying to do, and I will not engage in that one. But yes, eventually we reconciled after after we realized that we basically came from the same source. So now I'm both. Yeah. I feel like I got some good traits. I got some bad traits from both sides. I'm just both now, and that's fine. I've smoothed out over the years, and then I went to rejoin the world, did some more stuff out there, and then I came back. I'd been here a while, cozy enough, no real obligations outside. I've filled all my obligations. My friends went their own ways, didn't make more for some reason, so I just came back here because I had nothing else to do.
Verdant's gonna follow that up with, do you like it out here?
I'll admit it's boring, but sometimes boring's fine. Especially when it seems that like people have a lot of expectations for me for no reason when a crisis never happened. Like ever. So
Aquarelle sneezes in the distance.
So like did I miss something? What was it a dud? I don't know.
Verdant writes out, people always flock to the strongest Pokemon around to fix all the problems in the world.
Yeah.
Even if we're dumb and big and just run our heads into it until it stops moving.
Well, I suppose then I am pretty much you in that situation, except that a problem didn't happen, but people flocked to me and then just like waited and kept waiting, and they didn't leave, and they just kept looking at me like I'm supposed to say I stopped an earthquake or something, but I don't know what to tell them.
Verdant writes out that smiley face.
Well, that would have been lying.
He scribbles it out, and underneath it says, no, that's a funny joke.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Gosh, I have had a lot of people tell me so many different things before, such as I should make a problem and then solve it, which seems counterintuitive.
Verdant scribbles that out and writes out, say ridiculous lies until they realize that you're bluffing at a normal person.
That work?
Verdant shrugs. And then writes out, maybe this is why the guild didn't believe half of my exploits.
Well, I suppose that I should also potentially say that my other side, I said hunter as a very vague term, in that they will hunt just about anything from people could be included.
Puts in parentheses anything.
Yeah. But it was profitable. Very, very much so.
Verdant writes out, I don't necessarily see that as an issue.
I suppose. Like, it's another lifetime ago. It's a whole lifetime ago at this point, so... I
Irrelevant.
guess it's just that even if it was another set of memories, I still did do that successfully for.
Verdant writes out, I can't judge you.
I take it you've also gone through it?
Verdant makes the wiggly hands and then writes out, the guild had a purpose for me and encouraged me to a degree. Sometimes things couldn't be solved by friendship and hugs. Sometimes they needed... Then he doesn't finish it. Then he changes the page and writes out, I'm not that anymore. Mostly, I think.
Are you happier now?
Writes out muchly.
Oh, that's good then. Even if it took a while, I suppose it all ended up for the better then.
So, no judgments. Was point.
Well, then I hope that past this, we do get a little more back to our regular routines after all this craziness settles down.
Verdant writes out, craziness usually leads to craziness until things explode.
Goodness. Things really must be getting exciting in the world now, huh?
Verdant shrugs. Been out of work for a while, just doing menial labor.
Were you always with the guild?
Verdant nods. Found in the forest but as a Charmander.
Okay. I didn't end up in one of the guilds immediately. Took me a little while before the guild found me, rather.
Verdant writes out, I don't remember what life was like before the guild.
I ended up in the Daybreak Kingdom. Pretty bad place, actually.
Out of character, is that the place where the guild got kicked out?
Where the what?
Where the guild basically left?
That's the one.
Verdant draws a frowny face. I'm not allowed in there. I still have a badge.
Yeah, but it's a little worse than that, actually.
And it is also where whatchamacallit, Elba and Lap ended up finding Bex.
Yep.
Writes out, is this the kind of place that possibly needs to be burned in the near to distant future?
I think it's doing that itself just fine. Rather, I guess to say, I'm surprised it's still around.
Verdant will write out, well, you're not, so there. So. Scribbles
True.
out the word so.
Leaving that place was the easiest thing I've ever had to do. Especially because they're... how do I call it? Purists over there?
Verdant writes out, maybe don't tell me more, I'll get angry. It may need a visit.
Fair enough. The less that's said about that place, the better, really.
Verdant writes out, I've been in enough trouble in my life to know when I need to say no. I don't know when to stop.
Alright then. Then when I left and joined on with the guild, yes, things definitely improved, even though there was a, let's call it an adjustment period. I was extremely awkward.
Define awkward, Verdant will write out.
Well, I didn't really know that I had to go to the guild hall to report instead of directly the client or whoever had put up the mission. All these fancy tools that they had, like the wonder bag and the map and the badge. I hated the badge for a while, actually.
Verdant writes out, why did you hate the badge?
Well, because I didn't trust it. I mean, if you can talk into it and just someone will respond to you, then theoretically that means that they could use it to listen in on you.
Verdant head tilts and then pulls out his badge to look at it. And then shrugs.
I liked my privacy back then. So, there was had to pay some fines to keep replacing my badge because I kept getting anxious and just kind of crushing it.
Verdant writes out, I lost mine because I kept on getting into hard fights and everything broke.
Oh.
They charge you double when you break them in combat. After the 17th time.
But yeah, eventually I got a bit more cool with it and socialized with people who just came up and talked to me like it was a normal thing to do. And
Verdant.
like joined a team eventually.
Verdant writes out good things.
Yeah. And then they got married and didn't really want to be a team anymore. So I kept just hopping around from team to team, but they kept disbanding for personal reasons.
Verdant writes out,
I'd say it was troublesome if if people didn't start like looking at me like I was just some sort of like passive happy life charm, which was also troublesome in a different way. Like if I'm on your team, your girlfriend will say that she likes you, and I don't know.
What? Why?
Verdant
What?
writes out, "You were a good luck charm and found love for others." That sounds adorable and annoying.
It really was annoying, actually. Teams didn't last more than 8 months. The guild started giving me weird looks. Like, objectively, good things were happening, but they needed new teams now.
Where do I write to help next?
Verdant scratches his head a little bit. And then shrugs and then writes out, "You can't exactly blame you for things that people had going already, it sounds like, question mark?"
Question mark, question mark, question mark.
No. But, like... Whew. It was very... Like, I had a lot of feelings on these matters. Like, for one, please don't say things about me like that, because I'm not. But also, why wasn't that happening to me and just constantly around me? I want to know what that's like.
Oh my god.
Very frustrating. But that was a very long time ago. I suppose I've just sort of like lost interest eventually.
Verdant writes out, "In contrast, was there anybody that you liked at the time?"
She's going to ponder. Huh. Not especially?
Then Verdant follows up with, "So that's why it wouldn't happen to you, because there wasn't anybody you wanted. You can't exactly tell somebody you like that doesn't exist yet."
No, I mean, I guess not. I just like... Maybe I just had weird expectations that it would just happen somehow.
Verdant writes out very quickly, "You don't want it to just happen somehow, it's weird."
Well, yes, according to you. Apparently so. I guess I just wasn't thinking like that back then. Like, I don't know. People would just fall in love because a thing happened, or like you bumped into each other. I didn't really get how it happened. I just wanted it to happen.
Understandable. Though, from what I know, relationships take work and effort and communication, and they don't just happen. They just sometimes start.
Fair enough. From my observations, it seemed like they just sprouted out of nowhere. Probably because I just kept joining teams with other people who were like already in progress. So I never really did see the start.
Verdant follows up with, "Then guild work is oftentimes a very dangerous job that there's a chance that you never come back from, and that puts a lot of pressure on some people that actually have brain cells. Unlike me." Sad face.
She will like consolatory pat with one of her tails.
And he'll write in parentheses, "That was a joke."
Oh, I'm sorry.
Verdant writes out, "So more likely to jump the gun and say things to people because they might not be tomorrow? Question mark. Then replies with, I personally like the danger and enjoy it, so...
I suppose guild work does tend to be a bit more dangerous on this continent compared to others. Well, with the banditry and whatnot.
Among other things. ...
Among other things, yes.
They were my job. Then he'll write out, so you put a lot of pressure on yourself for things that were happening to people who have been at this for a while and probably already had some level of relationship with somebody and more inclined to be told things or say things that they wouldn't otherwise normally have said so quickly. Sounds like a recipe for things to just happen very quickly.
I guess so. It just kept occurring to the point where even I was starting to wonder if it was a
Don't
coincidence
teach
or
my
not.
hamster to suck eggs.
Oh,
Oh, influence.
Oh no. Oh no. Why?
Oh.
Why, Jin, why?
oh boy.
Oh boy, I wonder what this is.
Meanwhile, Pyroclast is getting the team in trouble. How's that going, Pyroclast? Diverts camera. Zooms in.
I'm just imagining that, Verdant's like, distraction. He runs over to the camera. We just see it. You just see him getting bigger and bigger as he's running towards the camera. Just grabs it and points it straight to Pyro.
I just imagine in this alternate timeline, Pyroclast is just under the counter giving Verdant notes.
Verdant stands up and a bunch of notes fall off his lap and he writes out, why? I'm older than you. I've been married somehow.
So far, there's only been one note.
What does the note say?
Don't fuck
Comfort
this
her,
up.
you dork.
What?
Comfort her, you dork.
Verdant's trying. Doesn't know how to.
Pyro wants the ship to sail.
The wrong person and the wrong character to throw on a date and expect cute shit to happen, damn it.
But it is happening, though.
Oh yeah, this is adorable.
Indeed.
I'm gonna be
very
right
nice.
back really quickly. I need to scream and get a drink.
Mm.
Use the Deputy Comforter. I don't know who. Stop.
If I remember correctly, around this time while Burden was doing this, Elba was basically getting the supplies because we were planning to go to the dungeon, but we weren't able to.
Yeah. Just imagine we all start gathering at this tavern because we hear gossip.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. You don't even see Elba show up. He's just covered by all the things that he's trying to carry.
I just imagine that's what you've been doing. You've just been covered with so much stuff that the advice you've been or the things you've been saying is just a background noise.
Yes.
I imagine Squirrel would just be hyper-fixated on his weapons.
Oh,
Indeed.
100%.
And Aquarelle would just be there keeping an eye on him.
I mean, I will say that the tavern is getting like passively more and more occupied as people want to hear these deets or just see the date.
I reckon Burden's tale isn't making things easy. It's leading them right to them, if anything.
Yeah, Pyroclast has somehow ended up behind the counter.
Well, the tavern's busier than it's ever been. They need more staff. Hey, you, are you good at drinks? Cool. Here's 50 pokey and an apron.
Excellent.
Okay. I think I have something.
Is this the part where Edge just leaves?
Probably. Unless he somehow is forced into an apron.
Edge is the mixer. However, he has to be really careful or he will cut the ties to his apron.
Oh no.
Well, apparently Woe wants much more description from the storyteller.
About Pyro and Edge? Alright.
I guess so.
Alright. Pyroclast, you have been asked to help out because Edge, much to his credit, has a very limited range of activities as not many things need to be cut as the ingredients have already been prepared for the meals. However, if nothing else, he can shake very firmly and vigorously. You are in charge of helping with the helping with when it comes to getting people their orders or taking new orders as seats are slowly getting filled. There are no more seats at the counter and people are sitting at the tables, which there are no small number of, as this tavern could probably hold half the town. Or half the village, at least. And with news spreading that apparently she has got a date with an enormous Charizard, they're thinking, "Oh, it's a shiny couple."
Okay.
The shiny
Burden.
pup. Oh my god.
Verdant eyes the tavern a little bit and finally passes the bartender a note.
All right.
It says, just give me a beer and then something expensive and sweet for her.
Oh.
Because there's a lot of people watching now, and that sound is canon.
Noted.
I
Just
think I'm
imagining he comes back with a ring.
just stares daggers at the bartender. Rewrites the note, a drink.
Alcoholic or non-alcoholic?
Alcoholic, I feel we're going to need it with this much attention. Y'all move too quick, man. Damn. At least give it... I'm not going to make that joke. Not on stream. I'll make that joke when my sister's around or my other friends. Since, you know, they move in quick together.
Thumbs up.
Verdant's going to turn to her and write out, "You're a beautiful woman. You seem kind, respectful, and nice.
Oh, thank you.
And you don't have to put so much on the relationship. but if you want to experience it, I will at least try to remember how to do this right for tonight.
Well, while I do also appreciate that, I think I might be a little old to start dating. I'm on the other side of 40, which I am told is not usually the best.
Verdant wavers. Then writes out, I have no idea how old I am. I'm middle-aged, I think, question mark. I used to have an ID. Starts digging in his bag to see if his ID is in there. Then shakes his head. Nope, so old I don't get carded anymore.
Oh. I don't know what to make of that.
Verdant writes out, you're not too old. No such thing. If you're too old, then I probably shouldn't be adventuring right now. Looks horrified at the thought.
You'd never want to stop. I suppose retirement really doesn't suit you, does it?
Verdant shakes his head no. Retiring means being tired. That sounds boring.
I guess you're right.
I don't know what I'd do with myself.
And little do
Alrighty,
you
2
know, in
drinks.
just a couple more days, you're gonna have a whole brand new lease on life. A fresh start, if you will.
Alrighty, 2 drinks for the stars of the hour. Here you go.
All right. You have been given a Melberry wine.
Does it look expensive? I don't have a praise, so I have no idea.
It does a bit. You'd be hard pressed to find a sweeter berry.
I will slide her that. Hopefully they brought me a beer. If not, I guess I'm drinking that.
Yes, they have indeed provided you your ale.
Good. She will be slid the drink. And then he'll write out, I remember some things.
Oh.
So Era is the one to get them drunk. Got it.
I feel offended.
So yes, she'll be a little surprised, but she is definitely not one to object, especially since her Enigma berry juice, while amusing, does seem like it was a dud more than it was a hit.
Well, it is random.
Yep.
And then he'll write out, where did you want to eat, by the way? I'm not sure if there are restaurants here. Past here.
Well, there is one, more of a... How do I put it? It is definitely a restaurant, though it seems that the cook has gotten very experimental in trying to find new ways to use the same thing.
Oh. For no right now, in the bad way, I assume.
Well, sometimes they find something nice, but you know, I was really not into the onion noodles.
Ew.
Points for effort, though.
So Vernon will write out food here or food elsewhere or just sit here?
I think food here. unless you want to take the challenge. and many people said, just eat here.
There's this moment in Verdant's eye where the word challenge is uttered, where it just flickers for a moment, a little bit of magenta, and then he shakes it off and writes out, we could also get it to go and go eat somewhere outside, more private. Starts staring back behind him for a moment.
As a single plate of spaghetti is brought out.
Squirrel snare now.
Even Squirrel can allow himself a moment of distraction from his tools. The forge wasn't hot enough. This place will do.
With the amount of bodies in this place, it's probably getting pretty damn hot.
It is getting a little toasty, and while sipping on the wine, she does keep looking around like, guys, come on. We kind of doing something here. I think.
Verdant's tempted to just continue to increase the heat in the room to see how many he can make leave. How willing are they to stand here or sit here? She's
You
a
know,
fire type, she'll be
I've got
fine.
an idea. Let's take this to go.
Verdant
And
nods.
I do know a spot where we won't get followed.
Verdant writes out the dungeon.
The dungeon. The 10th floor is a safe floor.
Thumbs up.
There is a lot of booing as she will with the bottle of wine and the plates to go, step outside as she will look up and see that, oh my god, they're fireworks. They're prepping fireworks.
Verdant gets to the door, gives one bad look. Everybody watching in the bar steps out, looks up, and shakes his head. What was Aquarelle gonna do?
I was just saying, no, I don't know why they're doing all this. Just stay with me.
And I was just about to say, Elba with all of the supplies where you can barely see him. It just comes here and just bumps into you.
Oh, everyone is here.
Pyroclast is trying to get the apron off and hand it back to the barkeep.
Is it a holiday?
Edge demands to be unwrapped.
Pyroclast will immediately unwrap him.
Is it a holiday for the town today?
Verdant just holds up a note card with a frowny face on it, and then writes out, "How very rude! No privacy whatsoever here."
Elba just tilts his head. Can somebody help me here? I can barely carry this by myself.
Aquarelle will help. Also, that was the perfect time just to glance at the stream and see he's Conrad making Squirrel wink.
Oh boy.
Excellent.
Gracious and goodness me.
Verdant writes out, "So it is that boring here, huh?"
I guess they're excited for something to be happening. Not that I would say I particularly appreciate it.
Verdant writes out, "This is a stretch on they saw fireworks."
So what's the occasion that fireworks are being exploded?
Have you not been hearing what people have been saying nonstop?
I heard something about a date.
Yeah, Shia and Verdant are on a date.
Elba's mouth just go wide for a moment before he closes it. Oh yeah, of course I knew that.
Verdant writes out, why is this such a surprise?
Aquarelle's not surprised. He already knew about it, and then I'm pretty sure he spent the entire day in the forge just hearing people talk about it as they left.
I have no idea why I have forgotten about this. I seem to remember something like that being mentioned before we left the town.
Verdant shrugs and looks at Shia and then holds up the notebook saying, well, shallst we before they try to follow us?
Where are you guys heading?
Verdant says, to a dungeon. To escape, points an arrow towards the tavern.
Are you guys going to be fine with just being the two of you by yourself in the dungeon? I mean, I know you are strong, but still.
Oh, I usually run them by myself anyway. It's just the forest. The dangerous one's the mine.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
She was already on the 24th floor, or by the time the rest of us joined to scope it out.
Well, I have my methods of clearing it a little faster, let's say.
Intriguing.
Well, we won't keep
Which
you.
is to say, I think it would be for the best if when I go down to the floor, you give me 2 minutes and then come after me.
Verdant writes out, why?
My methods are a little indiscriminate when I want to go fast.
Verdant shrugs. I'll be fine.
Okay.
Steals a couple of the orange berries.
Just off a table. Or like just off of Elva.
Just off of Elva. I'm assuming
Yeah.
he's carrying all these supplies, so Verdant just nabs a couple and throws them in his bag.
Yeah. Well, this was all the supplies for when we're going we were going dungeon delving, but I imagine you the two of you would prefer to be alone right now.
Verdant will write out, that's more up to Shia. I believe that was the intent.
Yes.
Verdant writes out, we'll call it more scouting.
Elba nods. Sounds good to me. I don't know.
Aquarelle just shrug, like a nod, while making sure to keep Nora from doing anything.
Oh my goodness, cat. I know that you want attention. Come here. Come here.
Mm-hmm.
Or not. Pay attention to me, don't pay attention to me. Pay attention to me, don't pay attention to me. Pay attention to me, wait, you're looking, don't pay attention to me.
By the way, how is Vex handling all this gossip and stuff right now?
He doesn't seem to get what the big deal is.
He's not old enough for that yet.
Indeed.
Gotcha. Haha. Got him. I mean, if you guys want, you could probably go poke at the entrance to the Platinum dungeon and see where that is.
Hmm.
Or you
Actually,
could try and corral all these people.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we can do that. So
Yeah, Aquarelle's
Yeah.
not gonna do that either. He's just gonna pull, I assume
Damn.
Squirrel and Noah back to the forge just to finish Squirrel's those weapons.
Pyroclast at the mention of looking at the entrance to the platinum is just looking at the 4 shards he caught.
hey, Paragus, if you like, the four of us can go ahead and do that while Burden and Shia do their thing.
Verdant
Oh,
writes that
boy.
I don't recommend going in.
We're not going in, just scouting the entrance. Believe me, I am not irresponsible enough to go into a platinum dungeon just uh, with unqualified team members.
Yeah.
All right. So, unsurprisingly, the dungeon entrance for the mines is a not too close to the town. It takes about it's about a 40 minutes walk to a rather conspicuous gouge leading downwards.
I can't whistle enough to do the downward whistle sound.
Oh.
There we go.
Hey, DG, question.
Yes.
Are there any are there any do any signs exist for when a temporary entrance occur, or that it just appeared out of nowhere?
Hmm.
I'm asking mostly to see if there's any knowledge for Elba to remember about well, basically
Hard to know without being inside the dungeon, but there is an an uptick on the number of enemies, and if the dungeon did not have a boss, it would have a boss. Ergo, basically a slight increase in the dungeon's intensity. But without knowing what it's like normally, hard to say.
yeah. I just wanted to ask to see if there was any knowledge on how to try to avoid temporary entrances if you can watch out for any signs of them.
Well, it's stepping through the temporary entrance that is the problematic part. Usually they're pretty obvious, but then most people would just like accidentally go through them thinking that there's something else or something to that effect.
Yeah. So, actually, maybe Elba asking around how the dungeon itself looks from the inside might be able to give him some clues as to what a temporary entrance to the dungeon would look like.
Well, it's a cave system for starters. But the funny thing about this one is that it's practically dotted with ores. But you just can't dig out any of it. Damnedest thing, really.
Fair.
Pyroclast would like to just do a perception check around the area. Well, actually, that's more investigation.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So from that, If a temporary entrance to the dungeon were to exist, it would probably be some sort of cavern. Make sure to not fall into any kind of hole, or don't go into any caverns. That isn't the main dungeon entrance. We do not want to accidentally go into the dungeon.
Certainly. But I suppose there's no risk of falling from the sky, at least, because there's no sky. But every now and then there are tremors that change the paths.
Interesting. So in this dungeon is the place where those crystals that interest you so much will be found, right?
Yeah, at least the closest type of dungeon that would.
It is unfortunate that it is out of our combat experience. We definitely need the others if we want to explore it.
That's a definite.
Meanwhile,
not
Verdant
like-
and Shia down there just la da 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 da.
I mean, they're in the forest one, and they're near the cave one.
Yeah.
Still, maybe on their way back, we could set up something to surprise them.
Oh, what do you have in mind?
Nothing specific, but maybe we could figure out something to surprise Shia and Verdant when they come out.
Well, Shia has been very gracious to us. It would be nice to do something for her as a thank you. Now that what is the issue now? We don't really know her all that well, so I'm not entirely sure what she'd like or what both her and Burden would like together.
I mean, we could ask the town because they seemed quite interested in the date.
And well, yeah, I guess I guess at least the town people will probably know Shia better than we do. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Now to do so without with enough tact that the people don't try to get involved.
Oh boy.
What would be a role to ask town people about Shia's about things Shia like?
Let's see.
Investigation, usually.
Or you could try to use persuasion. However, I imagine that the DC would be pretty low for that since everyone's pretty excited and will probably assume you're asking for a verdant.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't even have to solve those ones.
7. Let's see. 3 again.
7.
Are you guys back in town?
Yeah.
I guess if you guys are with Aquarelle, I can offer 1 to persuasion, I guess. 'Cause
I mean, I went with investigation myself.
I went
I
with
can
investigation as well.
Oh, I can offer 2 for investigation. I just assumed.
Ah, that works. Okay, now that's 9.
Elva just prints out all of Shia's likes.
That the village is aware of, yes. Some of these seem a little speculative, like educated guesses, however.
Fair. All right, lay it out on me. I'm writing down.
Alrighty then. I suppose, shall we move to Verdant and Chia then?
Sure.
I exist.
Alrighty. Then, Verdant, you are getting to see Shia's fast clear method. Now, this requires dungeons with access to the sky.
Oh, fun.
As she'll start by using Sunny Day.
And then the gates of heaven themselves opened up and rained holy fire down upon all within her sight.
It's funny that you say this, because yes, the following move would be called Solar Rain. To just start striking the entire floor.
Now I'm freaking imagining Shia just flying by using her tails as helicopter wings, helicopter blades.
I didn't know she was related to the miles per hour family.
Ergo, yes. Cease existing, floor. Take this. God's light.
Oh, I see. She control all deleted.
Considering this is a forest dungeon, it's a pretty safe estimate that most things here don't appreciate fire. And she just came down with the fury of Apollo.
Amazing.
See, Verdant's fine. It's fire typing.
Yes. Admittedly, you are also getting a little seared as you are not fireproof.
This is fine.
That's what the Oran Bearers are for.
Yes. He can take a few damage. It's fine. It's absolutely fine.
Yes.
He has enough integrity to make it through a significant amount.
9 floors of this. With picking up some things on the side, but she doesn't really seem to be particularly going out of her way. It just seems to be more of a habit more than anything else. But you do get to see the enemies on the first 9 floors.
good. Notes for self later, so that way they're cataloged.
Yes. I will post them in the Lost in Chaos chat. As there is one encounter of note, or rather one noteworthy encounter. There does seem to be one strange instance in which it looked like there was just an enormous egg.
Blink.
Before also getting evaporated.
Eggy.
Verdon is very specifically going to write out Y4 egg.
Oh, that's just a ditto. I forget what they're trying to do, but more often than not, they just seem to turn into a big egg for me. So I don't get it.
Huh.
Verdon writes out, "Did are all weird
They are.
and squishy
Huh.
and oddly hypersexual."
What?
Vernon shakes his head and waves his hands and writes out, never mind, we don't need to talk about that. City Ditto are weird.
I'll take your word for it, okay. But yes, there is the list of enemies that you have seen before entering onto the floor 10 safe floor. To which she is going to have a seat on basically the clearings amongst the trees.
Yeah, Verdant will sit. He doesn't have his armor with, so he can't put down his cloak or anything. And then he'll write out, there, less eye staring, less awkwardness. Much better.
Yes. They'd have to go through it. They'd have to go through a dungeon to keep peeking at this, and I'm not sure that they're particularly inclined.
Verdant writes
After
out,
all,
oh, go
we're
ahead.
inside a dungeon. I don't have to worry about property damage here.
Verdant writes out, oh, and I was going to suggest that we make sure to give them a good show if they make it down this far. Parentheses joke, since you can't hear sarcasm on parentheses. She doesn't like
True, it is hard to hear sarcasm in a written format.
Verdant writes out, I would try and speak, but I wouldn't last long.
I did notice that you seem to have some scars on your throat. I'll assume that's a story in itself.
Verdant nods. Then wavers, and then writes out, but let's talk about you. My idiocy can come later.
Well, I'm not really sure what else to go on about. I suppose I've given you the cliff notes.
Verdant writes out, why jewelry?
Oh. Well, I suppose that's just some stuff that carried over. As a witch, I made little knickknacks. Handmade things. They're more special when you make them yourself, and metals were hard to come by, but they were valuable. So, after some time, in some dungeons, I got my hands on some ore. And since I got my hands on it, it was free. So I figured I'd just try some things. Can't really use magic as well as I did before in my world. Different methods, different practices. So I can't really enchant things like I used to. But it's still neat. So I suppose I just settled into something that I knew how to do. Something I don't know if I'd call it comfortable, but familiar.
Verdant writes out, as long as you enjoy the process, I hope. ...
Yes, I do. I
Verdant
suppose
writes-
it's just that I never figured I'd make my livelihood on it. It's just a thing to do.
Verdant writes out, people like me buy a lot of jewelry.
Oh, you do? Oh,
Did.
dragon. Right. Because it's shiny?
Verdant writes out, it looks good on me. I like being pretty, thank you.
I'll have to see that for myself then. So, do you have favorite pieces or something to that effect?
Verdant writes out, did. And will again.
Ah. So, like rings or tail braces?
Verdant will make a comprehensive list of the things he likes in order.
Ah.
Because shiny things. And you asked a dragon what his favorite thing is, and therefore a list must happen. But thankfully enough, it's all telekinesis, so it just spits out really quick, and he goes, but that's a really long list, so I'm sorry if you tried to read that. I tried to buy a crown once. It didn't work. Nobody would say yes.
I could probably make one.
Verdant writes out, my ego would thank you, but I'm pretty sure everybody else would not.
Well, all I'd need to do is get the measurements to your head and a bit of your patience.
Verdant writes out in parentheses, joke, head size, fat.
Heads don't do that.
Then Verdant will write out, but you're content here at least, and it seems peaceful. And this seems like good things, yes?
Yes, I agree. These are good things.
And I assume this means you have money for interests.
Yes.
Of which I was leading you on to or say you should tell me your interests.
Oh.
Because vocal informations don't exist in writing format, therefore the lead-on can't exactly happen, now can it?
Oh, I see. I'm sorry. Let's see. Interests. Huh. I haven't particularly pursued them in a while, but I have been interested in glasswork before. Actually. Never really found someone to teach me, though. That, and I'm not sure if there's as much of a market for it.
Verdant shrugs as long as you have fun.
I guess so. I'm certainly more than wealthy enough.
Verdant writes out, also stained glass windows are neat.
You're right.
Stained glass also means breaking glass, which sounds fun part.
Would you like me to make some stained glass windows for you to shatter?
Verdant shakes his head no. You don't shatter it after, you shatter it before, I thought. Verdant obviously does not know how stained glass windows are made.
Well, it certainly does look like pieces, doesn't it?
Verdant writes out, is it not how it works?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not an expert, but I'm pretty sure it's not.
Verdant writes out, well, you do have a mini forge. And you do have a shop supplier that comes through. You could just ask him to look for books on glasswork.
Sure. I can do that.
Now I'm just imagining that Verdant's telekinesis just automatically scratches out have and replaces it with had.
Well, it is a good thing that she's more than well off, so it's not particularly problematic for her.
Verdant's trying desperately to stay positive. Why would you ruin him like this? I mean, look, technically you don't need as much heat to melt glass as you do metals, so... Even though I've never tried glass working, so I wouldn't actually know. Google, save me.
Oh. Let's see. Question. Was there anything that you ever had to adjust to? I imagine that you weren't always so, with your notes.
Verdant nods and writes out, I had to adjust to not being able to talk. They offered to fix it, but I said no. The world was different this way.
I'm sure you were as loud and boisterous as your lineage would imply.
Verdant just kinda gives the sighing nod.
So, like a big vex, then.
Verdant writes out worse.
Worse?
Big ego.
Bigger?
Verdant nods.
Huh. Did you have amazing accomplishments?
Verdant does the kind of so-so hand motion and writes out, not necessarily no. Possibly yes.
You were just an expert at grandstanding, then.
Verdant writes out, we'll call it that. I thought I was invincible.
She's going to glance to his throat again and nod slowly and just sort of draw her own conclusions.
I'm invincible.
Worst part is he still is the same person that took himself down, so he could technically claim he's externally invincible. Nothing externally killed him.
Vex. Now, if he heard that, he'd say, I beat a dragon 10 times my size.
And Vernon would write out, I'd believe you, kid, but even I haven't. Stop.
No, it's true. It's you. No, it's true.
Vernon writes out, ow. Damn, somebody taught this kid how to burn. What's that one move? That has 100% burn chance.
Will-o-wisp.
Will-o-wisp. Who taught this kid Will-o-wisp for the heart?
I mean, that's a ghost type move. Eva could probably do that, but Eva wouldn't do that.
Lab
Oh,
looks away. I don't know what you're talking about.
Somebody give this kid a mic and a beat. He'll run 9 miles.
I'm gonna. Hey, Elva, I've collected a thing called a body count.
Missed
Elba
joke.
just Elba just blinks. Body count in what regard?
Well, apparently I talked to people and they keep saying I did a murder.
Elba just looks mortified. Elba, you Max, you haven't killed anybody, have you?
It writes out murder by
I
word.
didn't think so. They just cried a lot. I didn't.
Elba just gives the biggest sigh. Okay, that kind of murder.
When death is rolling in every verse.
Mm.
So what are you guys doing on the outside then?
Yep.
More fire! Less fire! Sharper stones!
I mean, Pyroclast and Tinobori are probably looking through the list of the investigation that Elba got to see what they could do to do something for Shia and Burden.
Yeah.
Aquarelle is literally just, as every time Squirrel says that, he's actually just making sure it's the same temperature and giving them the exact same sharpness he had previously.
Aquarelle is just making sure that this forge doesn't also burn down.
Yes.
Well, apparently, every now and then Shia purchases some interesting things from the wagon that people have taken note of. Copper sulfate and boric acid. Supposedly to make green fire, along with other reagents to make other colors of fire. So she is definitely a fan of pretty lights, let's say.
Ah, so that's why she's into Verdant.
Let's see. What would be needed to make an azure or a blue tail flame like Verdant's in that sort of form? He's gonna
potentially copper chloride and magnesium sulfate.
He's gonna tell Elva that.
Alcohol
Well-
sometimes also burns blue, but it's very hot.
Mm-hmm.
Pyroclast ponders if he should try ruining Burton State by having a bigger tail flame as he walks by.
What is that? What exactly do you want to do with that again?
Well, different elements can create different colored flames. And this particular combination would create probably the closest match to Verdant's tail flame.
Oh, that's what you want to do. Well, we could probably actually ask that the store person to see if he has any of that material in stock. If not, we might be able to find it near the dungeon. Near the dungeon. That's usually where you find the beverage like that. It's usually where you are able to find minerals like that. Of course, not inside of it.
Yeah, the chloride might be a little tricky,
Yeah.
but
Well, just asking the store sounds like just asking the store to see if he has anything like that sounds like a good idea. Let's go.
yeah. Yep.
Oh wow, making copper chloride is actually relatively difficult. You have to heat copper to 300 to 400 degrees Celsius and keep it in a molten state while running chlorine gas through it.
Which means we're visiting the forge. After that,
Yep.
Oh,
Have
why
fun
did
with
you
your
have to
highly
make my
toxic
job?
chemicals, boys.
Why did you have to make my job harder?
Duke.
Oh boy.
Were.
Alright.
Sorry, did I miss something?
I don't think so.
No. Outside, people have identified that Chia likes those colored flames and are deciding to try and make some that are like Verdant's tail.
mm-hmm.
Well, I heard that. I'm just wondering why it went so quiet suddenly.
Yeah. Well, me and Pyroclast are headed to the store to see if we can get our hands on some of the materials to make that.
Yeah.
It's too bad nobody in the party is an electric type.
Indeed.
Squirrel will wield lightning eventually.
Yeah, but you don't now, so you can't make chlorine gas.
Probably a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you really want Squirrel to have the ability to wield that?
No.
At
I
this
mean-
stage, no.
Not right now.
Right.
The science nerd in me is going, how could Pokemon make hydro or copper chloride? And I'm like, well, how would they even get chlorine up here? Oh, right, chlorine just comes right out of like salt water if you do it right. You just gotta run electricity through it.
Which is exceedingly easy for Pokemon.
So I'm currently brain sciencing how this would all happen and waiting to see what Enja does with this information I'm putting out there.
Well, I'm not completely sure.
I didn't know we were playing Stump the DM tonight.
Well, unfortunately, I will have to remind you that the wagon merchant has already taken the orders and left. And that was probably even yesterday, if I am remembering the timelines correctly.
Probably.
Yeah. Oh,
But
well,
Yes,
considering
but
that
we-
the town has fireworks, and they were ready to shoot them off, there is probably plenty of available resources in the warehouse.
oh yeah, that's what
I
I'm.
will.
That's where I'm. Yeah, that's where I meant to say for us to go the warehouse, not the store with the cricketune.
I also want to point out the simple fact that we also have Noah, who can just teleport or seemingly produce basically anything we want.
You
True.
do. You have this resource.
I was curious whether or not the party was going to remember this and go and squeeze him.
You squeeze him and mustard gas just starts pouring out.
Whoops, wrong
Oh,
squeeze,
no.
wrong spot.
Oops.
No one
Jason
breathed
playing
that.
Aquarelle stating, "Why did you have to make my job harder?"
We just need to give you one of those Looney Tunes signs that says that.
That will be excellent.
Sign of truth.
This is just Elva and Pyroclast going off over their options.
Yeah. I mean,
Noah, we need blue fire. Blue fire, got it. Burns.
I was half imagining him just to spit up blue fire and watch everything get caught on fire.
oh no.
Blech.
I
Oh, so
mean,
that's what's
maybe.
been warming me.
Elba and Paragraphs will probably go to the warehouse first to ask about the materials, and if not, then they will go to Noah.
Yeah.
Also, Elba is asking Paragraphs since this idea is his. Do you know the process of how to make color flames?
Well, let's see. That is not good.
Lol.
Ah,
So, two of those ones.
Hey,
That was a good. That was a good idea. 4,
what the hell?
6.
I mean, you get to re-roll those 10s, you know.
Yeah, I know. I'm counting first.
That was the biggest turnaround.
Yeah, it really was. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 6. What does Pyroclast remember about chemistry?
All right. With that, let's see. He'd probably remember a good bit, as he has at least a hefty portion of his memories. So probably between him and Edge, they can compare notes about what they remember. And nothing helps like a little bit of experimentation. Yeah. Definitely. Experimenting. That's always a good idea.
Why am I imagining Lap is the one that said that? Who kind of said that in his voice?
Well, I know some things we can do, but we can also experiment with other things.
I am particularly asking because the thing that you're asking for us to do is make a color flame, and well, that involves playing with fire. I am a water type, but I can still get burned.
None shall see me. Though my battle cry may give me away.
Oh boy.
Not to mention, I don't want things to explode.
Meanwhile, Squirrel in the forge. More fire!
Definitely.
Aquarelle once again just discreetly lowers the temperature.
Well, if we want pretty lights, copper, magnesium, sulfate. He's just going over like possible compounds of what they could use that seem accessible.
Elba nods.
I am just warning the group now. Do not let Squirrel discover that colored fire exists.
Okay, good to know. We will somehow have to do it without going to the forge then, which sounds like a tall order. Also,
Or you
yeah,
could just ask Aquarelle to let Noah go with you for a bit.
True. Also, Elba's gonna ask. Well, if we have you have the materials, but we also need we will also need equipment to do that correctly. To do that, right? And I don't think we have that on hand.
Hmm. Enja, what would be the one easiest to make?
The easiest one to make. I'm not sure what would be the easiest one to make. Ah. There is a firm tapping on the sign of the warehouse by the record keeper. No open flames, torches, lamps, or zaps in or near the warehouse.
Elva.
Elba nods, and he's going to go approach the warehouse because Pyroclast can't. So, my good sir, I'm kind of inquiring if if you have some of these materials. He's going to say the things that Pyroclast told him.
Yes, I think some of these are in stock.
my friend over there basically wants to try and make some color flames.
Did I miss something again?
Okay.
Sorry, my ADHD acts up sometimes, and it's like, wait a sec, it's silent. Why is it silent?
No,
Oh.
it's fine.
It's okay. My
Did-
streamer intonation almost kicked, and I almost said what I typed out.
Did you was muted? I was just waiting. Okay, what were you gonna say?
Yes, they do indeed have most of these things on the list.
Okay, Elba nods. Do you know how? Do you have any knowledge on when it comes to making color flames by any chance?
Yes.
Yeah, I am asking because that's basically what my friend my Charmeleon friend over there wants to do. That's what the materials are for.
Ah. So he wants to color his tail then.
Not his tail. It's something for us for another person.
It's for the date that's going on. Can I yell from the distance he is toward them?
Ah, yes, exploiting Verdant's love life for your own purposes.
What exactly are we exploiting? We're trying to get them a gift.
Tisk, tisk, tisk.
I want you to bear in mind that Zim said this while he's streaming this event.
Hey, not only that, but I made $50 off of it. Granted, part of that, goes to Enja. And also, speaking of the tip goal, I do have a new tip goal up for, I already bought it for Enja. Should be there Wednesday. It was supposed to be there Tuesday, but they changed it to Wednesday. But I could use the reimbursement if anybody's willing to help. For better mech for Enja.
Oh, I see.
Casually glances at the spare microphone I have to send Zim anyways.
I completely forgot that you had that. And that you had already promised that to me anyways.
I forgot I promised that to you anyways.
Double whoops.
Well, I upgraded. I got studio quality stuff because I wanted studio quality stuff. Now I have studio quality stuff, and I have a Yeti Blue sitting on my desk, just chilling there. So
Fair enough.
And I keep running into problems of everybody wanting me to use in-game audio on those various horror games that use the mic.
Yeah.
But I don't have... But I don't have a mic hooked up to the gaming computer.
To be fair, it does enhance the experience for those kinds of games, so I understand why people will be saying that.
I don't want to deal with the audio nonsense that I'm going to have to figure out for that. I'm pretty sure I'm going to still stick with, Discord for voice.
Fair.
it'd probably be a waste of time to dual mic or dual
A resplendent
Dual feed.
offering.
Oh,
Oh,
Raharu 95 tipped $50.
thank you so much, Raharu.
You're welcome.
On a side note, just to put it out there, the way that you make colored flames is you get something that's a catalyst for a fire anyways, and you put the stuff that changes the color directly into it and set it on fire.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
It's literally it.
Okay.
It only gets fancy if you want fancy effects or color changing effects, but that's done in fireworks only, and I don't think you guys are going to be going into that level of chemistry.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think so. I
No.
don't think so. We probably just want to make like probably some candles or something, or maybe just put it inside of a glass. If we
Yeah.
can.
Doing it with candles is a little hard because you got to take the chemical and you got to mix it in with the liquid fluid and then put it on the wick and then dry out the wick.
Ah,
Not to mention, you gotta be careful about what you use, because a lot of those are also toxic to breathe in the fumes of.
Yes, actually, all of them are.
yeah. So what exactly did you want it to make with the color flames, Pyroclast? Do you want it like a candle?
Honestly, I didn't think that far. I just thought colored flames.
Elva just smacks his own forehead.
I mean, can you really say he we're surprised? He let himself get warped across the globe by Noah.
He has this just like blank expression while he's saying that.
Elva just gives a bit of a sigh.
No thoughts, head empty.
I feel like I have been led around like this before. Maybe one of Beck's escapades.
but what if it's cool though?
It is cool, but we need something to hold the flame. Otherwise it's going to burn the forest.
So hey, mister, do you have any ideas on what we could use to hold the flame?
We do have some lantern.
Will that work, Elva?
Yes. A nice lantern for with color flame. Yeah, I think that sounds like a nice little gift.
Cool. Also, I remembered we probably shouldn't breathe in the flames. Or
I am aware of that.
got it.
You know, Verdant, Era, you might want to look at replacing the hard drives on your synth there? He seems to be forgetting a lot of stuff.
No, you see, the synth isn't forgetting things. It's just I might have put a bunch of extra stuff in the hard drive.
Ah.
As
Okay.
I said,
Okay.
I know where all his buttons are, and I might have pushed all of them a few times by now.
You're laughing adorable, Gimund.
That hard drive fills up real quick when you got the right.
The right what? Why did you not finish that sentence?
Oh, I'm not smiling evilly over here. Well, you see, big things take up a lot of memory. You.
Enormously.
No, I just looked up the off production of copper chloride when you burn it. And one of the material outputs is. Where is it? This is what I get for looking at technical documents for fun. Where I scrolled past it. There it is. Culprit chloride dihydrate. Which is you don't want it on your skin. But this is if you just burn the stuff pure out, so
Okay.
Pyroclast would probably remember there's stuff like that.
Probably.
basically if you burn the stuff, don't rub it on your skin.
You wouldn't want the flame to be near your skin anyway, so
Well, this would be the soot.
fair.
It's corrosive
Thumbs up.
and mutagenic.
Ah,
And tetragenic, even. Ooh, you don't see that word very often.
interesting.
So, how many government watch lists are you on now?
Me? Probably a lot. I was probably already on a lot. I like science, and unfortunately, science touches a lot of things that are very, very not legal.
Sions.
Anyways, where were we, Enja, with the actual game?
Yeah, we went on a tangent there.
You have gotten a lantern, and you have gotten the reagents for your colored flames.
Okay, and just to double check with you, Pyro, the reagents you asked me to get are not like unsafe to breathe, right?
By themselves. Well, it's important to be careful with these sort of things. When they're burning, especially, and their byproducts. Especially that one, which he's going to point out. Which is the copper dihydrate byproduct one.
The copper chloride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elba nods. Okay, then how are we gonna make this safely? Well, I suppose we should light the lantern first.
Yeah, just don't breathe any of the fumes in. Then we can set up these lanterns near the exit.
Okay. Elba nods. Okay, so Elba is gonna look for two sticks. He's going to begin rubbing them together to make flames.
Elva.
Yes.
He's gonna produce a small flame from his palm.
You know that's going to dissipate when in a bit, right?
The chemical reaction will keep it going.
Are you sure? Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Okay, if you say so. And the reason Elba is saying this is because I mean this was brought up before in the other game, but stuff that is made by moves doesn't remain tangible for long. Ergo, ergo fire produced by Pyroclast will probably just burn out eventually.
Well, if it hits something flammable, that's a bit of a different story.
Do you think if I ate the thing in that lantern, that I could breathe that color?
Who is saying that?
Vex.
Elba shakes his head. No, that's not how it works, Bex. That's not how it works, Bex.
Yeah, and it's not safe either.
Definitely not.
Oh.
No one
But
tells
this
us
is-
that alcohol burns blue.
But this is one of the more fun chemistry experiments. I think I used to do. We made this once.
Mhm.
I don't know. He's like acting a little. It's like similar to when you saw him with the seeing the fragments for the first time, but it seems like way less.
Elba is going to tilt his head, noticing that. Are you alright, Pyroclast?
Memories. Don't mind me.
Do you have a bit of Are you just reminiscing something?
Yeah.
I suppose maybe it was some sort of chemistry class. Were you an edge together on that?
Yeah.
By the way, I do believe that this was before
Yeah, that's why he's.
Yeah, this group learned that Paraglass is a human Pokemon, so it was just assuming that you are a denizen of this world.
Yeah.
How long have the two of you known each other?
A little sweat drop from both of them. Probably.
Long time.
Since we were kids.
No. No, so you two are childhood friends. That's actually kind of neat.
Yeah.
Naturally, though, how old are the two of you then? I mean, your second stage and Edge is still just in his first stage.
Um. Well, how long do we have to before they get out? Do you think?
Elba just thinks about that. Well, I'm honestly not sure how long they would stay in there together. I mean, unless they're planning to like just do the rest of the dungeon by themselves after they're done with they're done in the 10th floor. They will probably use an escape to come back, so they could honestly come back at any time.
We should probably hurry up then.
Okay then, you go ahead. You go ahead and light up the lanterns. I've been waiting for you on that.
Pyroclast is gonna start lighting the lanterns.
Okay. Now that the lanterns are lit, mm, how do we make them burn in color safely? I never done this before, so I'm honestly so I'm asking you for reference.
Normally, you would use a Gimund,
Pyroclast?
what?
Are you alright? I was just asking how do we put the chemicals in safely. How do we do this so that nothing wrong happens?
Oh. Honestly, it won't last very long if we toss them in right away. So we should wait for the moment we actually see them.
Elba nods. All right. Then, well, I suppose you wouldn't really be able to show me without wasting the materials. Then,
I mean, Enja, do we have any like extras that we got?
Yes, actually. As not too unsurprisingly, a lot of these minerals are variants of a drop from the mines.
ooh, makes sense.
Well, we have enough here, so
Oh, I guess then you can show it to me then. Yeah, come on.
yeah.
I'm actually interested, and I'm sure
He's
Bex is
gonna,
interested.
yeah. You're gonna notice him like pull his cloak over his like uh nose and mouth while doing this.
Hmm.
Better to be safe than sorry with this.
Elba nods, and he just takes steps back and brings
And
Bex with him.
he's gonna toss one of the materials in. I believe it's there's 10 possible.
Whew, 10. What is that? Mm-hmm.
Fire!
Oh my.
So which one did I throw in?
Which one did you throw it in?
Yeah, he picked one up randomly and threw it in.
All right.
Elba is very concerned that apparently that it was apparently picked at random.
Well, the groups are playing with fire.
You will get a deeper purple as you have thrown in potassium chloride.
I was saying it's a good thing both water types are currently on and both split across the two groups playing with fire.
Funny you should say that, because
Byakuas?
Pyroclast is then going to say, okay, if we want to put this out, some of these won't go well with water.
Elba just tilts his head at what Pyroclast just said, as if, yes, that's obvious.
What I mean by that is the water won't put it out.
Oh. No. I didn't know that making color flames would make them resistant to water.
Some of them do.
Some of them
Which
get
is
worse
why-
with water.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I'm learning some new I'm learning some new information today. I may need to note this thing. I may need to note this down.
Yeah, unfortunately, when you're playing with the chloride family, some of these things are extremely flammable to begin with.
Mm.
And some of them are explosive, and some of the fumes are going to be hydrogen chloride.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, Elva.
Elba
The next best thing to do is to prevent their access to the fuel source. And he's gonna take his same cloak he's been wearing this whole time and literally smother the flame with it.
Your cloak is fireproof. I gather.
I mean, it kind of has to be.
Yeah.
With the tail flame.
Elba nods. Yeah, and that was actually a dumb question. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I mean, I literally earlier just kind of thought, ooh, colored flames, and then really didn't think it further.
Elba nods.
So yeah.
Well,
when
then
putting these out, don't use water.
Elba nods. Well, I don't have anything. I don't have anything that's exactly fireproof with me, but maybe I could throw some sand into it.
Yeah. Anything to prevent their access to oxygen. Or things like that.
Elba nods.
So now, should we get these other lanterns in a suitable position?
Maybe not. Yeah, let's get them all in a nice location so that they'll be nice. They'll be good to stare at for when they come out. Very nice
Okay.
decorations.
Yeah. Now, question, Enja. Did this one produce any byproducts?
A bit of smoke, but not much more.
He's gonna carefully dispose of some any residue safely. And so the lantern could be used for the actual event.
Mm-hmm. And then Elba and then Pyroclast and Tina Warrior are going to go ahead and just set up the lanterns. We can probably go to a different scene now, unless Pyroclast has anything else to say.
Nope. Other than just the safety explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Aquarelle lowers the temperature once again.
Lowering the temperature. Can you really defeat him, though? Can you really keep the flames cool enough for long enough?
I mean, considering he is water type, I think he
He's
could.
Yeah, he's also stage 3. I'd be disappointed if he couldn't.
I mean, we're also talking about Squirrel and his obsession with hotter.
He doesn't
I
need
think
to stop
it-
Squirrel.
it's
He
more-
just needs to keep him from noticing.
It's more Squirrel's obsession with forging and making sure things are forged right.
Mm-hmm.
It's forge fever.
Forge fever.
We're just gonna go ahead and skip to when he learns about colored fire and the different heat levels of them. And then good luck.
Yeah, then World War III happens.
And that's how we lost Squirrel, ladies and gentlemen. He tried to forge with colorful flames.
So you're saying that us going through the day is a bad ending for Squirrel. How unfortunate.
Tragedies upon tragedies. Don't worry, Noah will fix it in his Noah way, which is truly a wild card, but objectively, you will not perish.
You'll just have permanent lung damage and kidney damage and heart failure issues and liver issues and...
I'll replace those for you! I'll get you a bigger one! That's good, I assume.
Thank goodness for Pokemon's more resilient bodies, but I would imagine there's a limit to that.
Dr. Noah is going to do your surgery.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh no!
Begin the operation.
Oh, I'm sad. I paid to have him get a PhD just for Xerneas to kill him.
He didn't even know he went to
Indeed.
I don't remember that. What is this paper? A napkin? What's fancy napkin? It's got gold foil on it.
It's like a degree from Harvard, a PhD and doctor in medical sciences and biology.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a licensed pharmacist.
So I guess we're back to Gia and Verdant.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting out in the woods eating.
And probably just engaging, discussing, love is strange.
What a strange thing these people do. Get together, have relationships, get married, have children. Verdant looks away.
I mean, I do get it. It just never happened, I guess. Wasn't really sure how to. Because everyone that I talked to was kinda doing their own thing. I guess I didn't know how to start, really.
Verdant writes out, "That's fine. I have no idea what I'm doing anyways." That's kind of the flavor of life, not knowing what you're doing and then doing it anyways.
I guess that makes two. And here we are now. Sitting in the middle of a dungeon, which is technically counting up an invisible timer, which would then make us seized by the dungeon, which is objectively a bad thing, just so that we can get some privacy.
Verdant writes out, "I've been in weirder situations. It's okay." This is fine. I like being in dungeons.
They are nice in their own way.
Sorry, but earlier when Burden mentioned have children, I couldn't help but imagine Beck just suddenly sneezing for no reason. Probably a flaming.
No,
probably,
the weird
probably
thing
a
is
flaming
that
sneeze.
Pyroclast sneezed.
Verdant didn't know he had that many kids. When did that one happen?
Noah has an entire dandelion up his nose when he sneezed.
Actually, Verdant does have a question. Does she want kids? Or did she?
I think I did. And then I got Noah. And then Noah got taken away from me. Probably, though. I've heard that I've heard that my species is a bit of a long-lived one, though, so I don't actually know if I'm old or not. I'm conflicting reports.
Verdant writes out, "Ask Elva. He's an encyclopedia and a Xerox machine. I don't even know what a Xerox machine is, but apparently he is one."
Well, that certainly sounds like a human Pokemon word that is definitely not one from my world. Or my time. Whichever it was.
No clue. There have been a lot of words that have come out that I don't know what they mean. People refuse to explain them.
They do have good mouthfeel, though. Saying them would make me sound smart.
At least I know what an encyclopedia is.
You do. Good job.
Ow.
Well, no. Sorry?
Verdant writes out, "It's fine. The kid burns me more than you have so far."
Oh no. Sarcasm?
Vernon writes out, no, that kid's got a silver tongue, and it's sharp.
Oh no.
He also has no idea what he's using it for.
Oh no,
It's
it's
fine.
a barb. It's a barbed tongue.
Verdant nods. Then Verdant writes out, yeah, I asked because technically I keep adopting kids apparently now.
Oh.
And I know of at least one biological child out there somewhere.
How did the marriage?
Verdant nods.
Interesting. Never thought about adoption. Though I suppose I should have, considering that I did that with Noah.
Okay, I had a distraction from Rex, and I came back to somebody doing something with Noah?
She was saying I'd never considered adoption, but I guess I should have, considering I did that with Noah.
Oh. Fair enough.
Noah smokes. He's still on fire.
He doesn't sneeze, he just smokes.
The fire is internal, but it is still fire.
More.
He burns me a piece of coal.
More.
More.
Noah, at this point, this cigarette feels redundant.
Man, it's a good thing most of the townsfolk are distracted right about now.
I think you're losing control of the losing control of the situation there, Aquarelle.
I'm just imagining there's a huge plume of smoke going out of the top of the forge.
Noah
Considering-
sitting in the furnace.
Also considering the fact that, you put out fire and it makes a lot of smoke.
Yeah.
And Aquarelle keeps putting out some of the fire. And Squirrel keeps making more. It's not a good combo.
Noah, it's like I'm watching a quiet war. What?
Quiet war? What do you
Someone-
mean?
Oh, I don't know. One of you is gonna win
Uh-oh.
eventually.
Aquarelle raises a claw to his mouth.
One of us is gonna win?
Yeah.
Who?
I don't know which one though.
Who could... Me and the medal? Oh, I'm definitely gonna win. I'm gonna get this medal exactly where I want it.
Quickly
Okay.
places a hand in front of Noah. I don't believe that, please.
I have heard these words. End of statement.
I just imagine it's a dehydrated Aquarelle saying that.
It is time for me to manually hydrate you, I think. It's time for me to-
Do it.
Wait, who needs hydrated?
Water guns, Aquarelle.
Aquarelle, why are you so shriveled?
Aquarelle just has his eyes closed. Thank you, Noah. He's gonna spend a lot of time in the well after this.
I will make a lake.
Oh no, not in
Alright.
here. We gotta finish the foraging.
I will make a lake outside.
Okay, that'll
Not
work.
not in the middle of the town.
I will go a distance from the town and then create a lake.
Elva's not here, so his input doesn't count.
Yeah, I know.
Aquarelle's got to put a stop to this.
The well is fine, Noah.
I will make the well wider.
Oh yeah, that would probably be a great idea.
We don't need to break anything else belonging to Shia.
I will be careful.
Let's just make sure she's
Wake
okay
up.
with that
Hold
first.
the line. This hamlet shall not fall.
Yo, what up, Tanya?
Man.
I will now end the world.
When you make the DM alt F4 his own game.
Oh no.
Hello, Tanya. Thank you very much for that raid. Welcome in, raiders. We are having a great time with this what if session of Lost in Chaos Squirrel's Adventures. This is non-canon, but we're having fun with it anyways. Hello, Ghost Blackout. Welcome in. So anyways, back to what we were doing. So Noah is making a lake in the middle of the town. Squirrel, meanwhile, is making bigger fire.
What was that, Aquarelle?
Aquarelle's trying. Great. Now he has to deal with two disasters here.
Noah has good intentions. They are just misplaced because Aquarelle is dry. What if more people are dry? It is time to make a big body of water for everyone.
Yes, that's a great idea. That'll be really helpful for them. Also, Aquarelle, hold still. I want to test this on you.
Loyal devotee.
As his hammer is swinging for your head.
Do I have to roll an evasion for that?
Probably not. It's not very well aimed.
I reckon Aquarelle just ducks enough so that it just misses the top of his helmet.
Huh. I didn't think it would have a magnetic force to it. Thank you for that follow, Ghost Blackout.
Not sure what you mean, kid. This isn't metal. He says, banging his helmet a bit.
It's not? What is it?
My kind are a bit interesting, to say the least. Thinks back to when he was in Oshawott. Let's just say a lot of this just comes to us naturally.
So that doesn't really answer what it is. He's gonna go over and try knocking on the helmet.
Pretty sure it's like shell or seashells. Oh,
He's a crab. Argument over he's crab.
Oh,
Especially
yeah,
since
it's a
he's
crab.
typically crabby.
Ryzen, more fan art. You gotta bring out the Aquarelle comparison chart and then now include crab.
You
Well,
can't.
obviously crab.
oh no.
Oh dear.
Everything is crab.
And if it's not crab, then it's weasel.
If it is not crab, it will become crab. Crab is the end of all.
No, there's two things. Everything will either become crab or it will become long. What do you mean Dova is back? Actually,
mean
speaking
Dova,
of... Oh, right! Dova and his crabs! You remember the male crab,
Oh, that's
Enja?
right. I remember the crab. We ate it for a while.
Yes, yes, we did. Also, there is some fan art to share from not this session, but or this campaign. But well, Enja, you're the only one left that comes around from the other one, so
Ah, fair enough.
I just gotta find it
is
here.
this Echoes of Eberron?
Yes.
I had a feeling.
Haha.
I got a feeling
Tonight's gonna be a good night.
that tonight's gonna be a good night.
We had a lot of trouble trying to figure out what to...
Oh,
Sinel,
I
after he got, after he managed to resurrect, DeSoda.
Yeah, those damn Mornlands.
oh, that's adorable.
Yeah, Sinel and his animal companion.
Very nice.
Very nice indeed.
Echoes of Eberron, where we got rescued by the BBEG.
Yes, yes, we did.
Wow.
I know, right, Ryan? We cancel Kerr when Dova did monstrosities that Kerr can only dream of.
Objectively correct.
What was it? Spider skeleton or something?
Yes.
I don't
Oh,
even
then you
wanna-
haven't watched my campaigns and seen the Daddy Longlegs yet.
I don't even want to ask.
Oh, Dova went. Dova did not just say, you know, that's what we were fighting. No. He described it in great detail of how it was crawling out of a tree. And, oh.
I believe it constituted in front of us
I could have sworn
on
that
its web.
I could have sworn it crawled out of a tree.
Oh, hold on. It had little minions that were literally everywhere. I
Oh,
think.
yes. I don't know, Raijin would remember it better than either of us. He just watched the whole series.
I guess he did. Or I guess he would. And then my character.
Oh,
Literally-
yeah! Dova, I want something to allow DeSoda to have ranged attacks. Okay, here's a scarab that will burrow into his brain and allow him to use your spell slots.
Ah! That's right. That also occurred.
Dova was kind of the epitome of Faustian
monkey's
deals.
paw.
Yeah, it's the monkey's paw. You'll get what you wish for. You probably won't like it, though. Oh, and then there was Jason Voorhees that kept chasing us around the world.
Ah, yes. Him. The Terminator mech golem thing. That had steam explosions. Because. And then there was Pudding.
Ah, yes. Who you kept in the flask.
I did.
And came out to do the recap for when Mickey was sick.
Yes.
Oh, I've seen that clip.
Ever have a gelatinous cube as a pet?
No, but I once picked up a kobold, named a map in a dungeon because he told us where to go, and tied him up and carried him in my backpack and fed him.
You know, that worked. I think.
Oh, I'm sorry, his name was a map.
Self-assigned or bestowed?
Bestowed.
Noted.
He asked him where to go, and he told us. So I picked him up and said, "You're our map now." And he said, "I'm a map?" And I was like, "You're a map." And then I put him in my backpack. And he was like, "Am I a prisoner?" And I was like, "No, you're my friend." And he went,
Oh, well, I'm
"I
glad
guess I'm not going to die
that
then." This is better than death.
Objectively correct. Oh yeah, putting out grew the flask.
Also, I've been looking it up, and yeah, I'm pretty sure the helmet and some of the stuff on Samurai's body are shells.
I just assumed it was always shells. It
Yeah.
looks like
Yeah.
shells. As I said, Aquarelle is crab.
Squirrel has assumed that they were metal this whole time.
Hmm.
And now that he knows they're shells and a natural thing, he is assuming they grow back. And right now in his brain, he is wondering what kinds of armor he could forge out of the shells.
Oh my
no.
god.
Oh no, it's a repeat.
He's trying to farm Aquarelle. as if his show was drop material.
Oh no, it reminds me of when Squirrel first saw Edge.
Or when he first saw a Sableye.
That too. That's what I was thinking of. So many Pokemon would be in danger by Squirrel's curiosity.
Oh, that Sableye was definitely in danger. I mean, Squirrel almost ripped out his eye.
They are gems. You're not supposed to use them for glasses. So, Aquarelle, can I borrow your helmet?
Aquarelle will blink. Blink again. What?
He's just standing there making grabby paws towards it.
I kind of need this.
Well, yeah. But I can make it better.
For the first time, and you notice Aquarelle looking a bit more than a little uncomfortable.
Oh my god. Squirrel actually managed to make him uncomfortable.
It's
Grabby
okay,
paws,
Aquarelle.
grabby paws.
Why don't you just give him a part of your body for him to make better?
Do you
know,
want
I
to show that picture you showed me a while ago, did you?
I am aware.
I always have wondered if samurais can actually remove their helmets in canon or not.
Maybe.
I mean, in this setting, we can do whatever we like, but I was just wondering if that was a possible thing in the actual Pokemon setting.
I'd like to assume it is possible. I mean, Aquarelle has been pulling it down over his eyes.
Yeah.
Hey, at least Squirrel has made great strides at this point, and he's asking instead of just grabbing.
That is true. I suppose it is an improvement.
Aquarelle will sigh before just as slowly removing his helmet.
Excellent! He's going to put it down on the anvil and raise up his hammer.
Please be gentle.
Gentle?
Oh my God, Aquarelle's bald.
No, I am imagining that underneath his helmet, he's got brilliant white hair that just flows all the way out, almost as long as your tail, and it's just luxurious as hell.
So Mega
right.
Ampharos.
We're going with the Adventure Time angle with the long blonde hair. Got it.
Yes.
So Mega Ampharos.
Yep.
What do you
Either
mean be
that-
careful? Isn't it armor? It should be able to handle this, right?
Well, it is stronger than shells normally are, but
But what?
rather not see it be
Shatter.
yes. I'd rather not see it be shattered. I mean, I suppose if something did happen to it, it would grow back, but that would take time.
So it will grow back? How fast? So we've got an infinite supply of this?
I wouldn't say that. It would take a while.
Okay, so a while. Let's see. So, but it will grow back. But how does it not... If it grows back, then... But you could take it off. So was it attached, or does it just fall off? Do you have shed armor somewhere?
I did not choose my words carefully. Aquarelle is just thinking that to himself.
Technically, the implication is that have you grown bigger, you have shed.
Yes.
Well, I mean, technically, the implication here is that he's, what he's wearing is already shed. Which means they're... Wait! So, since this is shed off, because you can take it off, does that mean there's already some left on there? And he's looking over at your head, considering climbing up to inspect for new shell. You can just see that that's what's going through his head. It's very clear on his face.
And he is currently the only adult with Squirrel.
And even worse, Squirrel's got Noah there with him, and Noah will absolutely back him up on these crazy ideas.
He will. And Aquarelle's not the scientific type, so he doesn't know. I officially understand how to explain his own kind's anatomy.
If only Elba was there.
All by yourself.
Tell you what, kid. Aquarelle will reach for his helmet. Why don't we finish working on your tool? Strained smile. Oh, and then we'll go into this later.
Oh, right! Good idea! And he turns to get back to work.
Nice one.
Aquarelle is suddenly feeling a lot more hydrated. He's now it's placing his helmet back on his head.
Now imagining the glorious white locks of hair just kind of get sucked up into it like a vacuum.
Like I said, Mega Ampharos.
Oh, back to the date?
Oh boy. How much time do we have left? Damn it.
How tired is everyone? Because I think they'd probably just have a nice time. Potentially.
No, Verdant's got one thing up his sleeve.
Oh.
I was
They
looking.
They do have food. They have food and sweet wine.
I was figuring about another half hour, so.
I was actually gonna ask this. Yeah, I was actually gonna ask this myself. I'm actually starting to get a little bit sleepy.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I am too. But how would she like to go for flying?
She would, but
There
maybe
you
not
go.
inside of a dungeon. Going too high inside of a dungeon that tends to lead to bad results.
Verdant is well aware.
So, are you gonna grab your guitar and start playing A Whole New World?
No? God, I don't even know how to play that. No.
Alright, chat, $250. He'll play it next week.
No. Unless I'm getting that 250.
Well then, go for it. Wait with the rest of your date then.
No, that's it. That's the big romantic gesture that Verdant knows of specifically. Not everybody can fly. People like that.
He's trying for it. Ladies and gentlemen, he's trying.
They're on a date.
I mean, they could probably do it once they're outside the dungeon.
Yes, outside the dungeon. As much as Verdant loves the chaos of fights and the madness that happens when you poke things you shouldn't, he ain't gonna do that right now.
Verdant's second romantic gesture, fighting Shia.
I don't think that's a romantic gesture, but I might be wrong. It has been a long time. I mean, I don't think you're supposed to get in a fight with the person that you're trying to court.
I mean,
No, but this is also the Pokemon world.
I mean, according to Kurt, fighting is very romantic.
I mean, if she pulls off the gloves, Verdant will go, but he doesn't think that's the romantic way of handling things. Is this romance? Am I supposed to be hitting you? Are you supposed to be hitting me?
I don't know, I'm just kind of feeling it out.
Is it bad that I like this? Is it also bad that I don't like this? I'm confused. Help.
Maybe we'll just make a regular thing out of this. But yes, I imagine the flight goes very well.
Yes. It's always the cute thing when you can fly, when you can bring the other person in a flight.
Yes.
Sorry, my cat distracted me. He hopped into a paper bag.
But I do believe that navigating between the trees and breaking the tree line, it will be successful. And going forward, Shia would not object to potentially more. If certain situations had not occurred. But hey, maybe she'll still go for it. Who knows, really?
There, player mustered through a pretend date. Be happy, people watching. Don't make me do that again.
Successful Verdant date.
For this shit.
Alright, so time for Asher to arrange a date for Jace.
God damn it. What were you saying, Raharu?
I was saying that you honestly did awesome today.
Yes.
Bot.
I said that. I just said that you honestly did awesome today. It was pretty
appreciate
entertaining.
the compliment. That was awkward as hell.
I know. I know. I could feel the awkwardness, but at the same time, it was also very sweet. I really enjoyed it.
Yes.
Glad you all just enjoyed that nonsense. I'm gonna go to bed soon.
Yeah.
Sleep well.
After we're done streaming.
By the way, Pyroclast and Elva's surprise for them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we should do that before we end.
The colored flames.
Yeah.
Touching back down. You will proudly display your lamps or lanterns or whichever it was.
Lanterns, probably.
Yeah.
We set them up in a nice pattern, and we probably light them up in different colors.
Yeah.
If we had so many materials.
Yep.
What does she think of her nice, colorful lamps? Because Verdon's going to be confused where the hell these came from.
She is interested. A little curious as to why, but she is fascinated.
Verdon asks, local custom?
Yeah. Well, we heard from some of the townsfolk that you like colorful flames, so we thought to make some. We thought to make some for you. You've been really nice to us, and we just wanted to do something nice for you. Hello?
Yep. How did you know I liked these, though? Or do you just also
asked-
like them?
We asked some of the townfolk.
Oh.
Yeah, we wanted to help out your date.
Hope things went well, by the way.
Writes out, why does everybody care so much about my date? Or our date?
No, the one person who isn't prying into your date is currently dealing with both of your kids.
Thank you for babysitting.
Hey, they're not prying into it either.
True, they're not.
I guess by that logic, Vex isn't either.
Indeed.
I don't think Vex understands what's going on enough to care.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's probably enjoying the prairie fire, though.
Lovely fire.
We would have made something more elaborate if we knew how, but we'd really have the knowledge or time.
Yeah.
I think it went well regardless.
Elba gives a smile. Wonderful.
Admittedly, I could have used a little less prying from the town.
Snorts a little flame.
Elba just rubs the back of his head. Why did it just got so invested in it, I wonder?
I'm not sure. I thought they would have been just interested in you in general.
Elba just gives a shrug.
Well, unusual things bring unusual sights, or something like that.
I suppose that's true. Considering this place is hidden and all, I suppose not many unusual things happen around here that the townspeople are not used to. At least this must be something new.
Verdon writes that out. Still appreciated people not interjecting. Gives Pyroclast a look.
Meanwhile, in the distance, just a massive smoke cloud.
What's that over there? Points at the giant smoke cloud.
Verdon writes out, oh, somebody keeps on putting out fires, big smoke cloud.
Elba's gonna look at the direction. Hey, that's towards where the forge is at, isn't it? Oh no.
I'm gonna
is fixed now.
I'm gonna deal with the lanterns here.
Okay. Also, what did you say, Enja?
Everything is fixed now.
Okay, I am heading towards there, just to make sure.
Screaming words of some implication.
Verdon just looks over at Shia and writes out, do you want to go back to your place or deal with whatever that is?
Elba is heading over there as fast as I can.
I think we'd best. Session. And the session will end there. But, yes, success.
Yes.
Mutual success.
This
was potentially Verdon's first willing date.
Indeed.
Or date that he might consider success.
It's not his first willing date, it's just the first willing date in a long time.
I mean, according to Shia, it's the same thing, so...
Alright. Ooh, Midnight Lycanroc.
Ooh.
Wrong account. Ah!
Trying to catch it himself.
There.
Aquarelle's going to need a long swim after this.
Indeed.
So is this where we're ending session?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, thank you so very much for joining us today for Lost in Chaos Scar. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Patreon, and more. They're on the website as well as down in the description below through our link tree. Thank you to my patrons, tippers, and subscribers. It is your support that keeps this channel alive and going. I cannot do this without your guys' help and support, so thank you. Consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. It is one of the best ways to support the channel, though you can also do so by sharing the stream around, as well as coming by, hanging out, grabbing some packs of cards to stream loots, or you can also help out by picking up some merch over at zgfgaming.store, which we do have some new merch coming in the very near future, and subscribe to our YouTube. But for now, thank you all so much for joining, and I bid you the most fondest adieu.
Bye.
Later, everyone.
Bye.